Hey, what's up guys and gals, my name is Rick9G. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking about the 1960s television show, Batman. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel in order to become part of the 100,000 subscriber giveaway. You should definitely do that because time is ticking away, slots are filling up, and you could win an absolutely really cool gift from me free of charge. Let's get right to the video. Now, ages and ages ago, I started by making a video on Batman and the salaries and revealing them of pretty much everyone in the cast. Adam West, Burt Ward, even Stafford Rep, and even some of the minor people in the cast. And that was really fun. A lot of people loved that video. Many were surprised by the amounts. But I focused on everyone from season 1. Then I looked at everyone's salaries for the Batman movie. And if you haven't checked that video, you really should, because the movie was absolutely different from the TV show, and there were different amount of salaries. And people are asking me, well, how about Batgirl? You forgot about Batgirl. Well, no, I didn't forget about her. All the salaries changed throughout the course of the series in the 3 seasons. Now we're going to focus in season 3. Now, if you want to see these amounts, don't forget to check the other 2 videos out so you can see the differences here. But now let's get right to it. We're going to look at some of the amount of salaries for the people from season 3, and we'll actually start with Chief OHara. He was played by Stafford Rep, and he was a very interesting guy. Now, I do have to note before I reveal these something very important. Now, season 1 was very focused on making episodes in 2 parts. That is, if there was a villain, the villain would star in the first part as well as the second part, and they were often paid in that group, so in a series, that is in a 2-part series, one lump sum. Versus season 3, it changed a little bit, where sometimes villains would come in and out in different episodes. They weren't always appearing in sets of 2s. They would appear here and there. So in this portion, they were paid per half hour or per episode, per 1 episode. So I do want to make that differentiation here. Now let's get back to Chief OHara. Whenever he appeared, he usually appeared alongside of Commissioner Gordon. Now what's important to note for him is that he was pretty minor in that role. Of course, Commissioner Gordon was kind of seen as a little bit higher, of course, than Chief OHara in terms of his role, in terms of his power status. And so he was paid $750 per half an hour episode. Now I do have the conversion for you in 2020 currency or 2020 valuation. That's $5,809.82. And now that I just mentioned, of course, Commissioner Gordon, let's talk about him. He was played by the amazing Neil Hamilton. Now, as I mentioned, he was kind of in a dual role. His dynamic duo was, of course, Chief OHara, and Gordon was a very important figure for the show. He was often seen with the Batman and with Robin, of course, and he was an ally in all of this. How much did he make? Well, he made the exact same amount as Chief OHara, Stafford Rep, $750 per half hour. And that's very interesting because, as I noted, Gordon gets more of the spotlight in the show. OHara, not as much. He also stars, but of course, Gordon would be the leader type role. And yeah, they made the exact same amount. So that would also come out to $5,809.82. Moving on to Alfred the Butler. Remember, he was the one who raised Bruce Wayne. He raised the Batman essentially, and so he was, of course, a supporting role, supporting figure played by Alan Napier. Now, you may be surprised to find out, well, did he make more? Did he make less than Gordon and OHara? Well, surprisingly, I was very surprised. He made a lot less than Gordon and OHara. He only made $650 per half an hour, which is, in my opinion, very surprising. He did appear less and so forth, but I think his role was very powerful throughout the show, even though it wasn't super highlighted, but it was something that was a very important role. So that comes out to $5,038.18 per episode in 2020 valuation. Now, this is going to be the shocker of the video. I think both of these 2 actors, and that is, we're going to talk a little bit about Robin and Batgirl. Remember, they're the supporting role for the show, especially Batgirl. She just began in season 3. Remember that. That's very important. But let me start with Robin, and you'll see why. Robin is the sidekick. He's essentially the co-star of the show. The show revolves around Batman, Bruce Wayne, and him, Robin, Dick Grayson. How much did he make? Well, only $450 per half an hour. To me, That's completely shocking. Yes, I know that was his first role, essentially his first acting role. He was the youngest on the cast, but he only made, in today's valuation, $3,485.89. He made less than everyone else who appeared on the show in regards to the big players. We're not talking about the henchman or anyone who walks in the back of the camera or in the back of the background and so forth. So that is something to keep in mind. Now that we're on this same wavelength, let's go to Batgirl. Remember, she is not the star of the show, nothing like that, but she did play a prominent role. She was actually someone they brought, Yvonne Craig, in order to bring up the ratings a little bit that were sagging during season 2, the end of season 2, and they thought for season 3, let's make it big by adding another Bat character, and that's Batgirl. How much did she make? Did she make as much as Robin? $450 per half an hour. Remember, she's also female. This is the 1960s. Women were paid a lot less, but how much did she make? Well, she actually made more than double of what Robin made, which is, to me, absolutely incredible. She actually made $1,500 per half an hour. Yvonne Craig. Wow. That is completely mind-blowing. That's $11,619.64 in 2020 valuation. She made a lot of money. That leaves us with two more roles that I'm going to speak of, and that's the guest villain role. Remember, it changed throughout every episode and so forth. We could talk about the Riddler, King Tut, whoever it might be. They actually all made the same. It wasn't on a scale depending on how important or how valuable they were or their stardom. It was just, hey, if you were a guest villain on the show, you'd make $2,000 per half an hour. That's a big chunk of change. That's more than everyone else. It's more than Batgirl, that's more than Robin, Alfred, Gordon, OHara, pretty much everyone on the show at $2,000 per half an hour. That's $15,492.86 in 2020 valuation. Now, I know all of you want to know how much Batman made. That is how much Bruce Wayne made, played by the amazing Adam West. No arguing that this was his show. This was Adam West's show. It was centered around him. He was the star. He was the one everyone tuned in to see. Yes, people saw the villains and everything, but without Batman, there is no Batman TV show. How much did he make? $2,250 per half an hour. That comes out to $17,429.46. He absolutely made more than everyone. Looking at everyone and comparing them, he definitely made more than every single person, but comparing it to Robin, it's really amazing the difference there. I mean, that's more than 5 times the amount Batman was making. Looking at the guest villain, the villains make a little less, whoever that would be, he or she. But, I mean, that's surprising to me. Which one surprised you the most? Was it maybe the one who made the least, Robin? Maybe some of the guest stars, or even Gordon and OHara, who actually made the same amount, and then Alfred, who made less than that. I don't know. To me, these are very surprising. I want to know what you think. Your thoughts down below. Which one surprised you the most? We'll see you next time, and don't forget, guys and gals, be hopeful. Thank you so much to my Diamond tier patrons: Citizen Kane 359, Paul T, Ricky, Gary N, David D, Sally N, Yasmin G, and Lori K. If you want to be part of the Patreon family, don't forget to take a look at the description with many exclusives that you can enjoy.